Hi everyone, hope all of you are doing well. So today I just want to touch base on something I just realized just recently. It's about taking a risk and how taking a risk can actually open to you so many infinite possibilities that might not actually be available to you had you not taken the risk. So let me try and put this into context. So assuming you're traveling along a certain road with a final destination in your head, right? And what if the universe in its infinite wisdom or God in his infinite wisdom says that up ahead on this current road you're on, there's a certain detour that will actually prevent you from getting to your destination. So what does God do? God decides to design a new path that kind of deviates from the main road that will make this journey easier for you so that you get to your final destination at the right time. But someone who doesn't have the presence of mind to like take a risk and try something new will actually assume that, this path was just a by the way. Like, why do I need to venture into a new path when I already know that this path I'm on is going to get me to my final destination? But now you not choosing to take this current path that, God has designed specifically for you is actually you ending up encountering this particular roadblock up ahead. And by the time you come to this roadblock, it will already be too late for you to turn back. Or if you're able to turn back, you getting to your destination will be much later than you had initially anticipated. But guess what? You could have actually avoided that had you actually taken the risk once this new path was designed for you by God, right? And again, to put this into context, when I'm talking about a new path, assuming that the new path for you will look like that little voice in your head that's usually nagging you to try something new for yourself. But you keep pushing that voice down because you assume that the new thing you want to venture into is too risky for you. And the path you're on is the safest path for you because this is how everyone around you has done it for years and years. It's the only path you know. And that's completely okay. But one thing I want you to realize is that this current path you're on, it's not 100% assured. You have no way of knowing what will happen up ahead, like in 2 years or 5 years' time. You have no way of knowing what will transpire. You might encounter so many blocks that will block you from actually achieving your goals or your desired target at the end of it all. Let's assume you're currently probably in a job, and I'm just giving an example, so don't take it to heart. You're currently in a job that you know very well doesn't fulfill you, and something at the back of your head keeps on telling you that you have a certain passion of whatever it is. You might be passionate about dance or making movies, or I don't know what it is, whatever you're passionate about. And something inside of you is just trying to tell you to try this new path. But now, because you decide that this path is too risky for you, right? It has no assured success, right? You might encounter so many pitfalls on that journey. So you decide that, you know what, I'm not going to venture into this new risky path because, I don't know what the future holds for me on that path. And it seems too risky for me. Let me stay on this current path I'm on, which is working my 9 to 5 job that doesn't fulfill me, with the hopes of retiring in 10 years or 15 years time with a nice nest egg. And then you decide that probably when I retire is when I'm well venture into whatever I'm passionate about. And that's completely okay. But let me ask you a question. Do you have any way of knowing whether your current organization or your current, wherever your place you work in, is going to be in existence in a year's time? That's actually not assured. You're just assuming that things are going to go smoothly for you. So you assume that this path is actually safe for you. Or let's assume that probably in a couple of years' time, like there's a certain accident that might actually occur in the current job you're on that might actually interfere with your physical faculties, right? Interfere with the way you earn for yourself. And probably when God was putting this notion inside of you, this intuitive thought inside of you to try a new passion, was actually God trying to save you from that happening. But you chose to ignore that because you thought, you know what, this is too risky. Let me go for the safest route, right? And let me also give you another example. So back to this path you're on. So you, maybe now you decide to, instead of now going down the main road, you decide to take a risk and you decide to venture into this new path that God has created for you. Okay. So you go along this path and you discover that the scenery is even more beautiful than what you were encountering on the main road. You get to see lakes or animals or even a waterfall or a rainbow or whatever it is, like beautiful scenery that you might not have known existed had you continued on the main road, on the path that you're on. Or let's assume that this current path that God designed for you is actually a shorter and better route for you getting to your final destination. You will never have known that had you not taken the risk of to venture into this new path. So back to the example of you and maybe following your passion or something. You might be thinking that venturing into this new passion is risky for you. And yes, sure, there might be pitfalls, there might be a couple of struggles and a lot of pain points in this new path, right? But what if this new path has you meeting the love of your life, right? Something that you might not have encountered had you continued staying in your current job. What if this new path has better returns in terms of money, in terms of time, in terms of relationships, like every area of your life will improve based on you just choosing the new path. But you chose to not do that because you assumed that this new path was risky. Are you seeing where I'm going with this? So I hope this kind of puts things into context, and the fact that, number one, don't assume that just because the current path you're on is the only path that you know of, and don't assume that this is actually the safest path for you. That's what I wanted to reiterate. Don't assume that the path you're on currently is the safest path and the most, the most convenient path for you to achieve the kind of, I don't know, success or the kind of goals that you want to achieve in your life, because tomorrow is never assured. You have no way of knowing what will happen tomorrow. So I would like you to just consider to take a risk. Try something new. Try something that scares you. It might look scary right now. It might be risky, but you never know. Up ahead on this risky new path could be a beautiful new version of you, something that you will never have gotten to experience had you not taken the risk for yourself. So I hope whatever I've said today has resonated with you. If it has, comment down below and share the message with someone that needs to hear this today. And yeah, love and blessings. Mwah.